Welcome back. Now that the 16's all back together and it's running the way that it should do, I'm really keen to just get it running properly and give it a bit of a tune-up. So I'm going to whip the distributor cap off, make sure the distributor is nice and clean inside, and clean the points. And then I'm going to set the ignition timing. 1, 2. Well, I said that didn't look quite so bad, but actually, upon closer inspection, it does look quite bad. You can see there's quite a lot of scoring and chipping on here. We're certainly going to give it a clean up. So interestingly, when I've taken those off, the leads themselves have completely disintegrated. That's stuck in there. That should be in there. We're going to need to go and raid Paul's parts department. Thanks, Paul. I'm just going to have a look down in here and see. And the distributor is heavily worn. Okay. So basically what we're getting at here is I should probably speak to Salv, because Salv does electronic ignition kits for these. So that's going to change the way that this goes quite drastically. Instead of cleaning it up and taking it apart and degreasing it and everything like that, what I'm actually going to do is I'm just going to clean the points, set the points, and then I'm going to send the distributor to Salv and get him to do an electronic ignition kit for it. Okay, yeah, that's suboptimal. Okay, cool. In there. So that completely changes the way that this video goes, because now instead of stripping and rebuilding it, I'm simply just going to give it a quick service and then put it back together, and I'll find another distributor to send to Salv, because the lobe on that opens and closes the points is quite heavily worn. I think this car's done about 120, 130,000 miles, and I don't think it's ever been looked after. Paul doesn't know this yet, but I've just robbed a set of HT leads off of one of his spare Renault engines that he's got next door. So I'm just going to check and make sure that they are hopefully long enough, which I'm sure they will be long enough, and then go from there. I was going to treat you to me making up a set of HT leads, so I've got all the kit for it, but I can't find it anywhere. So I'm not going to be able to make up a set of HT leads, but this could explain the part throttle stutter that it has. In fact, it probably does explain that. So fingers crossed. I'm going to try and fish these out of here now. I hate stuff like this. This is just absolute pure maintenance, which really is the story with this car. What? Why even do it? What's the state of that? Like dry, rotted out plug leads. We are going to use the illustrious Haynes manual to make sure that I put these on the right way. So, before I go, I always start with so. Before I mess about with this too much, I need to go and drop some paperwork off. So I'm going to take the Renault 16 for that drive, and why don't we have a little bit of a redo of the original video, but now that it's had all the work done to it, the big end shell's done, and hopefully it will drive a bit better now with HT leads that are actually a complete lead rather than whatever was going on with it before. So, I still very much love this car. I love it to bits. And I've made some pretty hefty life choices to facilitate restoring this. I put a post up, a video up about a week ago saying, like, do I sell my Citroen BX? And I have sold the BX. It is a big decision, I sold the BX and made what I think is a sacrifice to commit myself. Basically, I have now committed myself to restoring this Renault 16 and having the funds and the ability to continue this YouTube adventure and channel, because I feel like we're getting somewhere with the Renault 16. This drives so much better with actual HT leads. It's got so much more power. Feels really good. Right, let's get up the hill, the big hill. That's got so much more power. It still feels a little bit flat up top, but feels really good. So yeah, I've sold the 16 valve BX, and I've sold that with the sole intention of using that money to restore the Renault 16 and get it back to its proper glory, really. So I've ordered a few parts for it. We're going to do rebuilding the brakes, new brake lines, rebuilding the calipers, new master cylinder. I've just texted Salv about converting it to electronic ignition because I intend on driving this. I'm going to compression test it later on this week, and I'm going to do that as a dry and a wet compression test. And if it needs a rebuild, we'll rebuild it. If it doesn't need a rebuild, great. And basically, I just want to go through all of the basics, all the basic things that anyone who's new to owning a Renault 16 would experience. So I'm going to kind of have to be guided by you guys on that one, because I like to research and find out about things, and by watching this, you're doing that. So tell me what you want to know, guide me through what you want me to do, or what you expect to see, or any bits that you think I should do, and we'll just make a big list and rattle them off, with the idea of driving and using this car throughout a year and maintaining it and improving it and enjoying it together. So you can get all of the experience of owning a Renault 16 without any of the hardship. You can just watch me struggle. Yeah. This drives much better with those HT leads changed. That part throttle hesitation as well is gone. It's silky smooth now on and off the throttle. It was really unhappy before on part throttle, so I'm really happy with that. There you go. We're making progress every day. I can only apologise this video hasn't quite gone the way that I wanted it to. I wanted to show you how to clean a set of points, how to set the ignition timing, but looking at how worn the distributor is and the fact that the HT leads were like dry rotted, I could have done anything to it. Like the wear on the distributor is never going to be conducive of a well-driving car. This car drives so well, I love it. I absolutely love this thing. Just cruising along, having the time of my life. Someone said that I need to do more forwards. Someone said I need to do more forwards angles, so I'll take that into account and we'll do some. I'll put the camera there and have it pointing forwards for the drive back, I think. This all, the other thing that we're going to do, and this is going to be, I don't know if this is going to be like a summer special, I'm going to strip the whole thing down and paint it, because the thing that really lets this down is the paintwork. And it's had a bit of bodge and a bit of filler in its time, and I'd like to see the extent of that. So I'm going to speak to Paul about maybe dry ice blasting it underneath. Dry ice blasting the top side of the engine bay. And then I'd like to strip it down, every bit of trim off, strip the whole thing down, and just give the outside a DIY lick over. Because I think this is one of those cars that it needs saving now. If you do it now, it's worthwhile. If I drove this around for another year, it would be beyond the realms of something that I would be able to do. Park it on. Let's park it on the ice. This is never moving again. Right, I'm gonna go in and do some work. I'll see you gang soon.